With Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey releasing next summer, I decided to do some research. And no, I did not read the original story. Instead, I decided to listen to Epic the Musical. And today, me and my friend Katie Pettiette are going to break down the top 5 songs from said musical. You ready to dive in, Katie?
Yes, indeed. Yes, I'm so ready.
All right, let's start with number 5 because it's a very good place to start.
Yes, indeed. Are you going first or am I going first?
You go ahead and go first. You're the guest.
All right. So, just for the record, my roommate, shout out to Emma, got me into this last month. I think I've listened to Epic every single day since I got it.
That's crazy.
I'm
it's like
not
2.5
even
hours
exaggerating.
long.
Okay, not the full thing, but something from Epic. I don't have that much time on my hands.
Yeah, we're in college.
But
we can't do all that.
I know I can't. I couldn't afford to. But so for number 5, this was so hard, by the way.
I'm sure.
For number 5, I went ahead and put Ruthlessness, which is Poseidon's... Yes, it is Poseidon's solo song from the Ocean Saga. First time we meet Poseidon. It was actually, this song was one of the ones that I was like, this has to be on the list. It's kind of surprising to me that it ended up at number 5, but, just the others were so good. And so... it's literally so hard for me to say that anything is my favorite from this musical because it's literally all so good.
It's like
but
Jefferson.
I do think that it might be safe to say...
No, yeah,
I think it might be safe to say that Poseidon is my favorite male voice in the entire musical, which he doesn't show up that much. Obviously, full disclaimer, every artist, every person who sings in this musical is so talented. Literally there's no voice that's it's all great. But when he started singing in this, and I was I just wasn't expecting it. I don't know, it's so different from what we've heard up until this point. Every voice is distinct, but he has such I don't know if raspiness is the right word, but it's there's just some quality about it that makes him sound so threatening and such an imposing force, but also so cool. It's the amount, just when I listen to this song, it's very much like a villain song, and it's written that way very, very well. And just the phrase, the ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves, is so fascinating, and it gets carried throughout the entire musical. And it literally carries into the last song. I don't know if you noticed this, but during Would You Fall and Love Me Again, when he says, left a trail of red on every island, the theme for Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves, those notes play in the background. But it literally carries it throughout the whole movie. It establishes Poseidon as a character. It's where most of his men die, so that ends up being pretty important. And just the style of music and Poseidon's voice are just very appealing to me, because it's very it's rock-ish, and it's just but I have to mention also the very beginning of it. I was so into it because his chant, it reminds me of Sephiroth. It reminds me of Sephiroth's theme. And I'm not wrong, I'm actually right about that, because Jorge himself is a Final Fantasy VII, and he said that he kind of drew from Sephiroth's theme to make Poseidon's theme, and I can see it with the chant, and it's just it gets you hooked immediately. And then it's funny to me that after Poseidon's name being chanted 50 times, Odysseus is Poseidon? Yes, Odysseus. But yeah, Ruthlessness is just a banger. Super fun to listen to.
Yeah,
that's my number 5.
That's one of the things about this musical that got me when I was trying to make this list, is it's every song while you're listening to it is your favorite song.
Exactly.
And it's how am I supposed to decide 5 that are better than the others?
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, it was hard to make this list. One of the interesting things about what you were talking about, him making musical drawing from video games, is that was something that he wanted to do, was combine that classical storytelling that Homer possibly does, with our modern sensibilities of video games, musicals, etc. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everything you said, but I don't have Ruthlessness on my list, which is good, because crossover's a little lame, right? The rest be saying the same things.
Yeah, I agree.
At number 5, I have Monster, and any of the songs from the Underworld portion could have gone here, because for me, this one is less about musical stuff in these songs, and it's just so important to the plot.
Absolutely.
Monster is the pivot around which the
Mm-hmm.
entire musical swings. It's the moment when
Yep.
he decides that he's like, you know what? Mercy is terrible. Ruthlessness is
Yep.
mercy upon ourselves. Yeah, this song for me, it's that turning point. And the reason I said that like the other ones from it could have also gone here is just because like the songs before, two songs before, he's reliving all the terrible things that happened because he had mercy. Then the next song, he's like, the prophet person is like, it's no longer you. And when that song was playing, I knew it was going to happen because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not the same person, but it's the same
Yep.
dude, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but Monster is where he comes to that realization. And it's a banger song. Like I know at least three
It
songs
is.
named Monster, and all of them are bangers. One of which is from the
Yeah.
Frozen,
Right.
well, one of which is from the Frozen musical song that's not in the movie. Elsa sings it. It's actually so good. You should go listen to it. But
Interesting.
they had to write 4 or 5 songs for that musical that weren't from the movie. But anyways, Monster at number 5. Also, just the sonic landscape that he used in that underworld section is just
Yeah.
so ethereal and like
Yeah.
creepy yet cool at the same
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely.
Monster at number 5 for me.
Let me just say it killed me. It killed me to keep the Underworld saga off my list. It is not here, and I hate that so much. I love all of it. Like I just
They work together
it's
so well that it's hard to put one, like it's hard to separate one from the
exactly.
other. There are
Exactly.
some of the sagas that are more disjointed, but the Underworld one is very just straight across.
Definitely. But yeah, like Monster, as you said, is amazing. It's also very fun because if it is very early in the morning and my voice is raspy and tired, I can sing it. I can sing all the way through without jumping the octave. But No Longer You, Tiresias's voice, Mason, he's amazing. The Underworld, I can't listen to that one in public because I will cry.
Every time
I mean, like when his mom freaking comes in.
you gotta put that song on a playlist with Burn.
Right, exactly. But that said, my number 4 next. Again, so hard to choose from this saga, but I went with Little Wolf from number 4. As soon as Telemachus entered this musical, I was like, I love him.
I didn't
Like
know what he was.
protect. I had someone guiding me through it. But I loved him. Protect this man at all cost. He is so pure. Oh my gosh. And as far as like, so he also, that's why I was reluctant in saying Poseidon was my favorite male vocal because Miko is so incredible with what he does. And like I almost wanted to put Will Be Fine on here because literally when Athena does her part and then he goes and sings her exact notes, I was gagged, literally. I was just like
That song was number 6 on my list.
I was just like, sir, who gives you the right to be this talented? That is actually insane. Like, Athena, one of the powerhouse vocalists, as if they all aren't, but on
Yeah.
this list, and you just freaking matched her. Like, that was insane. But Little Wolf, a lot of it is on vibe. It's literally they're fighting and it's a song, and I'm just like, yeah.
Yes.
And like I was singing this in the car with my roommate who introduced me to it, and when they said "Die, Little Wolf," I might have gotten too into it because she kind of looked over at me and was like, "Dang, rip Telemachus, I guess." But so Telemachus does get like obviously all of his vocals are incredible, but he does get a moment here, and also when he says, "Whoa, that is so sick," I was like, you precious you, and so I loved that. But then Athena's part 2 here is so good. She just absolutely goes crazy with her vocals for no reason, and it's great. And then we also have, I don't remember the bad guy's name for the life of me. He has he's just a really talented singer like all of them, but I'm not putting Hold Them Down or Hold Them Down on this list because I don't want
No.
to
Yeah, no.
for reasons, but he is on here and he gets to show off, and it's just intense. It's punchy, which is very fitting because they're fighting.
Give him an uppercut.
And literally she's like uppercut him, and I was like, oh dang, okay. And just it's this one, like after my first listen through, I think this would have been my number one. But after all the subsequent, things have shaken up. But that one just like instantly I was like, this is my vibe. Like this is like, yeah, let's go. And Athena's riffs like while he's actually fighting are just so, I'm trying not to use the word epic because like I don't want to make a pun every 5 seconds,
Say
but
that
like
again.
literally, but they are epic.
Yeah,
So yeah,
really.
yeah.
I mean, if you listen, so I listen to a lot of soundtrack, and there are a lot of people that make what they call epic covers of different songs. This song literally, or this musical, literally sounds like those epic covers. So it's like I'm over here like, wait, is that like an actual just like thing? Is this a musical style now? We've invented a new genre, and it's epic. All right,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess so.
At my number four, I actually have God Games. This one,
That killed me to keep it off the list.
yeah,
Absolutely killed me.
it's just so fun. For me, at the beginning, it okay. First off, just Athena's theme going hard the entire time
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. I love that. Just that musical piano riff that plays
Yeah.
every time she's on or referenced is just one of my favorite like musical lines from the musical. But then the way it's kind of used as a like a game show setup with
Yeah.
the way Zeus kind of introduces it, let's make it a
Mm-hmm.
game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. And then seeing all the gods, I only just now realized this, but Poseidon isn't in it, which would have kind of wrecked the entire thing. But the premise still works.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, just seeing her go through each one and appeal to exactly what their specific thing, their element, I suppose, is, and using that to convince them was just amazing. And I think this is one of the songs that most rewards knowledge of the Greek pantheon, just because of what I just said. And specifically the one that really jumped out to me the most is like she's trying to convince Hera and she is getting nowhere. She's like, he's
Yep.
funny. Hera's
Yeah,
like,
he's like, I
no.
don't know.
And then she goes, he's never cheated on his wife. And
In front of Zeus.
well, because that's the thing is Zeus is constantly doing that to
Yeah.
Hera. And so that's like the thing Hera hates the most because she's the goddess of marriage. And so for me, that moment, I was like, this song is just incredible. And then, of
Mm-hmm.
course, the even like the part without the lyrics, it does so much in the imagination without even having any visuals.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
incredible. And I don't have a lot else to say about it besides the fact that I love Athena's melody, her main theme thing, and I'm sad that it's gone for like an entire middle third of the musical.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Two things about God games. I really like, I think this would be the one for me. Like, it's number 6. I absolutely love God games. But two things. I love that she responds to each god with their theme until Ares disses Telemachus. Then she's like, okay, actually, this is my theme now. Shut up.
and she gets both Aphrodite and Ares. Boom boom.
Yeah, 2 for 1. And also, I don't know if anyone cares, but I really love voice actors, and Brandon McInnes, the voice of Apollo, who I love Apollo's part. He's there for 1 second, and I'm just like, I want to see more Apollo. But Brandon McInnes, who voices Apollo, also voices probably a lot of people, but I know him as Sir Night-Eye from My Hero Academia. So that's just fun for me.
Nice. Yeah,
But
and
anyway,
while we're talking about Athena, like you were saying, what was that song that you mentioned that I said was number 6?
we'll be fine.
Yes, it's just so that is such an incredible song. And just while we're talking about it, I decided I would talk about it. It's just number 6. The way it kind of pulls back the layers of what Athena is thinking throughout the entire time that the rest of the story is going on. Like it kind of retroactively tells you what Athena was doing and thinking during that entire journey that Odysseus is going on. It was, to me, that's just incredible storytelling. And not to mention, it's a banger and it gets stuck in your head. And the harmonies are incredible. So that's what I have to say about that song.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I just like the little part where he's just like, I got in the fight and I didn't die. You, my gosh, he's great. He's so great. But speaking of Athena, again, my number 3 is Warrior of the Mind. So for me, I really love Athena. It's like, I don't know much about Greek mythology. I've read one book of Percy Jackson, but like a lot of people a lot of people who read Percy Jackson like have told me that they think I would be a daughter of Athena. So, I don't know. I have good
That
impressions of
yeah,
Athena, I
that
guess.
tracks.
Yeah, that it doesn't but like, she's just goddess of wisdom and the goddess of war, and this just introduces her, and I was just like, my roommate, she was explaining to me what was happening, and she was like, okay, this is Athena. And like, Athena starts singing, and I'm like, she's amazing. I'm
And it's
like,
one of the
she's
first things you
great.
hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it just like establishes this like conflict for Odysseus of where like it's so interesting because his mentor is telling him to not be merciful and he's like, okay, but I want to. And then he, leaves the Cyclops alive and everything. And that just totally comes back to bite him. And then he turns into the one who's like not giving any mercy anymore, which is really interesting. And Athena's not even there anymore. He came to it on his own. But as far as just like musically, Athena, Tegan Early, who voices Athena, is absolutely incredible. I know we've talked about it, but like she's so good. And it's just the part, her own first part where she's just introducing herself and introducing what she wants is amazing. And then Odysseus jumps in. I love that just cleverly, just fun little part in the middle where, they're going back and forth. They're, playing, having a little game of wits, I guess. And then he has that little part where he's like, you are Athena, and then that part's super fun. And then they come together and start singing together, and that's just so nice, and it makes it seem like this really like wholesome relationship. And then what, 4 songs later you get My Goodbye, but whatever. And like it just establishes everything really well. And then it's also very smart though, because it does seem like this really wholesome, fun mental relationship, but then at the very end she's like, don't disappoint me, and then he proceeds to disappoint her. And so it's just all very well done, as in her character, vocally, musically, setting up the rest of the musical. It's just all very important and also very fun to sing. That doesn't play in too much to it, but it is very fun to sing. And yeah, just it's great.
Yeah, this started on my list, but I think the main reason that it fell off was just because it's so early. And as I
Mhm.
was listening to it, trying to think of which ones I wanted to add, there just was too many that came up later. That was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But if this song
Yep.
probably had been later,
Yep.
maybe it ends up on the list. And I think the other thing is that
Maybe.
because this song establishes so many themes, after you've listened to it
Mhm.
once, then you listen to it again, it's kind of like, okay, I like this song and I like all the themes in it, but there are other songs that have those themes in it that are a little bit more that I like more. I think that's
Yeah.
also why
That makes
it got
sense.
pushed off. But you're right, it is an amazing character introduction for the two characters in it. I think the first song is a great introduction for Odysseus, but I think this song tells us a little more about him. The first song shows, who he is. The second song like just tells who he is and
Yeah.
how he reacts to the gods.
Yeah.
He's not terrified of them, which is a huge thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
For mine, it's actually another one of Odysseus talking to a goddess, but this is Keep Your Friends Close. I almost said And Your Enemies Closer because it just works
Yeah.
so well together.
My gosh. That's so good.
It's just a great song. I wish that the whoever did the voice of the wind goddess that's in this song, I wish they came back around. I like her voice a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Seriously, I was so shocked when it was a woman. I was like, she started singing, and I was like, what?
I think the
But
only person who has like, for me, the only person who has like a clearer voice and like tighter pitch is Calypso. But whoever does this incredible job, and that's one of the main reasons. Besides the fact that this song, the melody is just so tight, and it sets up an interesting conflict too for the rest of the saga that it's in. Of don't let them open the bag, and it's fun to just hear all the different parts, the way that everything is moving together, and even the way like the rumors spread and all of
yeah.
it is just, for me, it's such a great tight story and a great setup, along with all the incredible vocal performances. So Keep Your Friends Close is my number 3.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't remember if Jorge wrote it like specifically. I don't know if he was intending it to be a man, but I think he was, and then like this woman auditioned for it and he liked it so much he was just like, "You know what? Let's just change it. Why not? I can do whatever I want. It's my musical." And as he should, because like I mean, it's a god. They shapeshift like whatever, They take different forms. It works, and she has an amazing voice. So
And there were probably more
yeah,
than one Godfred anyways, so
yeah, So solid pick for sure. I listened to that one quite a bit.
There are
Just
some that are more,
it's
and I think my top two are kind of like this too, but there are some that are more like pop kind of style, and
mhm.
there are some that are more musical style. And the musical
Yes.
ones work really well in the context of the musical, but the pop style ones kind of work better by themselves, you know?
That makes sense. Yeah. All right, number two. There was very nearly my number one, but I thought it through. I thought like more components. And for this one, it kind of it like it has a lot of reasons why I like it, but it mostly hinges on one big thing. And my number two is Scylla, and the one big thing that it hinges on is her voice. Oh my gosh, her voice. For me, it's not even just like the tone or the note she's hitting. It's the range. It is the going from this like almost siren like voice. I know she's not a siren, but like almost like just uh like alluring voice that sounds so like angelic, almost an ethereal, to like drown in your sorrow and fears, and you're like, oh heck, like that just got really intense. And she just does that with her voice. I mean, obviously the music is going with it, but like literally, if you just played her voice, I think you would still absolutely get the point across. Like, I think literally you could play her voice and you could go from that moment. I would be like, oh, she's eating people now. Like, because that's how much intensity she conveys. But she did incredible. It's just, and the lyrics when she starts eating the men are so, that's a crazy sentence, but they're so intense and it's like crazy, and I'm like singing it and I'm like, I don't like this. This is so odd to be singing while I'm literally just driving, guys. It's not that intense. But yeah, it's so incredibly sung, and also it is very important because, and it has a lot of themes in it, because he sacrifices the men. He uses those wits. Scylla has 6 heads. He lights up 6 torches. 6 men get eaten, but some of them are still alive. So you know.
Yeah, I think if you if
And then
you just play Scylla, you lose that part of it, but the main
yeah,
ideas are definitely still there.
yeah. And then, leads to the whole mutiny and everything. But yeah, I and also just like their one tiny harmony when they say we are the same, you and I, is so pretty and just like haunting and just like so telling of like so many things. And it's just also, I think it's interesting that she says, we are the same, you and I, obviously because he's doing what it takes to survive and ever, and all those things. But also she aimed for the torches. She went and ate the men with the torches, and then later in Odysseus he was aiming for the torches when he was killing the suitors. And I just think that's interesting. And but yeah, just mostly the vocals are incredible, and also a lot of the animatics for this are absolutely terrifying. Like, and it's funny because Jorge specifically requested that the people making the animatics give the viewers nightmares, and I think a lot of them really delivered. Like, it's crazy.
I'll edit
Also
them in.
interesting.
I'll edit them in over top of this.
Do it. And it's also interesting, like he didn't really include this in the musical, but apparently in like the Odyssey, Scylla was used to be one of Circe's nymphs, which is interesting because like she did something. I don't know if she did something or Circe was just being salty. Sometimes the gods just be salty and they do stuff, but she got banished and turned into a big giant snake water monster. So just
That's
fun facts, I
interesting.
guess.
You did something bad. I'm gonna make you something possible of doing something worse.
Yeah,
That's kind of what happened in.
yeah,
No, I was gonna say that's what happened in Medusa, but no, Medusa was just someone else was jealous of her. So,
yeah. That was
anyways,
Athena, wasn't it?
probably. I think so. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually on the fly switch what I have as my top two.
Oh my gosh.
And speaking
Whoa.
speaking of Circe, both of them are from that saga. uh, apparently, I liked this saga a lot. Um, so
That's
at
a good
number
one.
two, I have "Wouldn't You Like."
Oh my
I
gosh,
think if
Hermes.
Hermes is great, but I think if you were to listen to it and think about like the kind of music that I like, you'd be like, "Oh, that makes sense." Because the piano, the like ragtime kind of style piano is just amazing. And it's kind of the only time in the whole musical that actually works. It's kind of the only time it's really there at all. And so that's just one of the things that I think is amazing about it. And then another just incredible part of it is, Hermes' performance. It's so like on the edge of what wacky can be in a musical, I think. And the way that it swings, I think that you would say that that probably tracks, because the just like the way the piano is used in like the ragtime kind of style, the frenzied ragtime is what I would call it, is just incredible. And it's the
Yeah.
only time that we hear anything like that in
Yeah.
this entire thing. All 40 songs. This is really the only time you hear this like clean and pure piano.
Yes. Yes.
So that is just one of my favorite parts of this song. And then Hermes, the way that his performance like swings from wacky and crazy into like pure clean singing, it's just so funny to me. Though he like
Yeah.
enters every
Yeah.
scene with that weird laugh and like a little wacky, but then like when he starts singing, it's normal singing, human singing voice. That is amazing, of course.
Yes. Yeah.
And it ends with a pun. He calls it holy moly. So, I love it.
Yes. The holy moly.
But it did have to drop one now that I'm thinking about it. But at the same time, I mean, this song, and it sets up the way that he's able to beat Cersei, who's a witch who can use magic, and he is not. Just great, amazing. I love this entire saga. So yeah, that's my number 2. That is my number 2. Do you have anything to add about Wouldn't You Like?
It killed me to keep Hermes off this list. I love Hermes so much. Like, if we're doing characters, I'm pretty sure Hermes would make an appearance, but just, man, it hurt to keep him completely off the list because both Wouldn't You Like and Dangerous are absolute bangers. I can't even recreate the laughs that Hermes does, but
I can't
it's
do
just
that.
he's so good. Yeah, I guess I was close. But his singer Troy, I can't pronounce his last name. I think it's like Doherty or something. Like he's not even British, and that really shocked me to find out. He's like, because he just becomes British, I guess, for this thing. And he's so silly and he has so many short, like he's so funny. And apparently uh Jorge had the idea for like Hermes' specific sound because he had a color changing lamp that was like in his room or something, and someone was messing with settings. I can't remember the exact story, but someone was messing with it and they had like a strobe setting or something where it was
That's
like
weird.
alternating pulsing lights, and he was like, "Kitty synthwave."
That's funny.
So yeah, just fun facts, but yes, absolutely, it's so good. Cersei Saga is so good. We love
And
Hermes. However,
it's funny the way that my brain works is Hermes in the Percy Jackson show. Lin-Manuel Miranda plays Hermes,
yes,
and
yes,
I'm over here thinking like, imagine we get this guy on this thing and this guy on, and we get it.
yeah,
That would just be
seriously.
incredible.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like Jorge, just he is the next Lin-Manuel Miranda. Obviously, he's an incredible writer. He writes very similarly to Lin-Manuel
Lyrically,
Miranda,
for
but
sure.
it's
Yeah,
yes, but it is distinct, and it's funny though. A few cut songs, like early songs, it sounds like he was going through a Hamilton phase because there's a lot more like rap, and it's interesting.
the
He's
Eurylochus has a rap,
in
and in the thing,
yes
and I was
in
like,
Puppeteer.
yes, okay, then I'll guess I'll get to it in a second. Spoiler
And
alert.
then no. And but like it's so interesting because he's a Puerto Rican songwriter who got famous for writing a really cleverly written musical based on a so that's just very interesting. And but hey, I like I think maybe he's like a really better singer than Lin Manuel. Don't like who said that?
I would agree with that. He plays Odysseus, right? Okay, yeah, I would for sure agree with that.
Yeah, I was like I was we were literally listening to The Horse and the Infant, and my roommate was telling me about all the similarities between them. She was like, "But I think he's a much better singer." And I was like, "Obviously." Like I'm literally listening to the first song, I'm like, "Yeah, yeah."
A lot
He
of people are
is.
better singers than Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yes, indeed.
All right,
But
we made it
anyway,
to the top, though.
yes, we did. So, oh my gosh, this
We had an odyssey of our own for that.
right. That's my journey. Okay, so this is just so hard. Again, this list is just so hard. But this song is just, it's so many things together. Everything we've been talking about, I think it does all of those things mostly just like so well. And it has some just very weird things that I really like about it. But my number one, as of now, my favorite song from Epic the Musical is 600 Strike.
Ooh.
Okay, so first of all, the weird thing, just Poseidon sounds when he's getting stabbed.
It's it's
They're
weird.
so pretty. He's like, I just like, there's been like some very short animatics where like Odysseus is stabbing him, he's like singing screams, and Odysseus is just looking at him like, what the heck are you doing? And then he like screams normally, and Odysseus is like, okay, and he gets back to
Here
stabbing
we
him, and then
go.
he sings again, and he's just like, but anyway, I really like those little singing screams, but that's just me being weird. But also, this is just so, it's so important for the musical because this is like, obviously he's done plenty of bad things like becoming the monster. He's sacrificed a lot here of his morality, but this is kind of the thing where it's like, okay, he's like when it's just when you hear Poseidon, he's like, you can't kill me, and Odysseus is just like, exactly, you're just like, oh dang, like he's he's about to do something. And it's just like while Poseidon is getting stabbed, one thing that I love is that he sings monster as he's getting stabbed, and I think that is just like that one word. I just think that is so clever because like he's really gone. Like he's really different. It is no longer him. This is, it is so different now, and it's just so important for the musical. Also, just Windbag Jetpack is crazy. Um
I still
like,
didn't know what was going on in that scene.
yeah, windbag jetpack apparently. And that's crazy, and I love it. And so also fun fact: when he is singing and he screams, "I will get back to my wife." I was driving to my grandpa's house, and that song came on, and he said that, and I screamed along with him, and I scared myself. I was like, did the cars around me hear that? Like, oh my
If
gosh.
they had their
I was
windows
like,
down, probably.
dang, I guess I'm getting back to my wife. I don't know. I was like, you could put that scream in an anime, dude. That was crazy.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, so and just it's just such a pivotal moment and it's so important to the musical. It's very intense. Like you can, except for Windbag Jetpack, I wouldn't have guessed that on my own, but besides that, you can really tell, you can picture this fight that's going on. And also when Poseidon at the end says, "How will you sleep at night?" and he just, at knife? What the heck?
Freudian slip right there.
When he says, "How you sleep at night?" and he says, "Next to my wife, that is such a bar." Like, oh my gosh. I was like, dang right, Odysseus. I know you just
He's
did a
got a couple
terrible
more
thing.
stabbings first.
Yeah, it's true. But I was like, dang right, Odysseus, you get back to your wife. I know you've done some really moral questionable things, but dang right.
Shitable. I think it's pretty
Well,
clear cut.
no, but it's just it's such an intense moment, so perfectly written for what the moment is supposed to be. It has Poseidon, who again is still one of my favorite voices, and even though all he does mostly singing is screaming, it's still singing and it sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's
Get in the Water is like it's such a short song that to me it feels like part of that one,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
one definitely has the Poseidon part
Yes,
of
definitely.
the fight.
And it's really funny to me because the first time I listened to Get in the Water and like all the dead people start singing their themes around him, I at first I was like, "Oh, that's nice. They're like supporting him." And I was like, "Oh no, he's dying." I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh."
that was one of the I knew that kind of stuff was gonna be going on, and that's why whenever I listened to it the first time, I made sure to do it with headphones, like nicest pair of
Mhm.
headphones, stick them on, so that you can be like, what's going on over there? There are some where you're like, oh, that was who's behind me.
Yeah. And it was, oh my gosh, it's just it's so good. And I was like, actually, one more fun fact, but this was the song that made me want to listen to Epic the Musical. Like my roommate didn't, like she kind of like just was like, you're listening to this now, and I wholeheartedly appreciate that. But I I wouldn't have been interested in it at all like before this, but 600 Strike came on in her shuffle and I was like, I was like, dang, this is really intense. I was not expecting this from, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was not this. And I was like, this sounds like a really, like, actiony musical, like, intense. Like, I want to, like, let's see what this is about. And the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so
But yeah.
interesting to me because I feel like the third act of this is considerably weaker than the first two acts. But like your list has multiple songs from the third act. And so,
Yeah.
it just shows how opinions are so varied. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my top song, I kind of already spoiled it. I'm going with Puppeteer.
I wonder.
Just okay, I
Ah.
feel like it does everything this musical does well, this song does well. It's got the incredible lyrics, it's got a battle of wits, it's got a normal
Mm-hmm.
battle. It's got what else does it have? It has a rap. The rest of the musical doesn't have that. So, it
Yes.
gets to step
Yes.
up on it. A great rap, by the way, too.
Yeah.
And anyway, just obviously I think that it turns out I like Cersei's character. I think it's interesting because she's kind of the character besides Odysseus that kind of changes the most. It honestly, now that I think about it, everyone else is pretty static, moving around Odysseus, changing him, right? But Cersei, maybe you could argue for Calypso. I think there were a couple songs in that arc as well that just didn't make it. But she's one of the only other characters that has the most change, right? She's affected by Odysseus the most of anyone else, besides people that he kills.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So for me, that's why I think Puppeteer is my favorite song from this musical. And there were some bangers that came out after it. This is a song in the middle of the musical, but I was listening to that saga and I was just like, my entire list could be this saga if I don't rein myself back on it. So I deliberately said, you know what? I'll put two of five when there's more than five sagas. Shows the love enough, I guess. But
Yes.
Puppeteer, just a banger.
Yeah, Cersei, again, incredible vocalist. I don't even have to say it at this point, but I will. Incredible vocalist. Eurylochus's rap is just a banger. Also, very establishing. I don't know if he might have kind of been establishing this before this, but like for Eurylochus's character, he's just um he's such a hypocrite. He's
Yeah.
literally like in this song he's like, let's leave the men, like we don't need to save them, let's just get out of here. And then in Mutiny he's like, oh, you sacrificed 6 men, bro.
Yeah.
Brother, no, hold up. But it's, yeah, and then also such a hilarious when he's like, this was like, we are weak to a power like this, and Odysseus is like, oh my gosh, what power? A woman. And Odysseus, you can hear the entire like, I am so done with you right now in that one what. He's just like,
What's funny
what?
is that's kind of what all of Greek mythology is like. It's kind of what it all says. It's like, yeah, this is the most powerful thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, done for incredible. Could have been on the
Yeah.
list.
Seriously.
I don't know.
I was really sleeping on the Cersei saga for a long time, mostly because when I listened to it with my roommate, we were listening to it. I couldn't see the lyrics, so I didn't catch as much of it.
Yeah.
I have terrible hearing, not terrible hearing, but I have not great hearing, and so I don't catch a lot of lyrics if I can't see them just in general with new songs. And so I missed a lot of it, and I wasn't listening to it again because I made a playlist and put the songs I remembered liking initially, but then I
Yeah.
listened again and I was like, no, these are actually all bangers. What am I even doing here?
Yeah.
So yeah, no complaints.
I think the one song that has the most meaning on the second listen is Open Arms. Like listening to it the first time, you're like, okay, this is a song about a guy saying, greet the world with open arms, right? Everything's gonna be nice and great. Trust
Yeah.
everyone, right? But then, like the second time you listen to it, you're like, okay, this is like the first. This is saying what are the words I'm trying to get out here? He's showing the opposite view of what ends up happening to Odysseus,
Yes.
right? Like at the beginning, he's saying, Odysseus, you're already too nervous and too mistrusting. And
Yeah.
what even happens is Odysseus just gets worse. And that guy dies, like in that opening
Yeah.
act as well.
Rip Polities.
And, I just think it's so interesting that that song kind of sums up the themes of the entire musical. Like looking back on it the second and third time you listen to it. Because it's like, this guy thinks that you should be nicer to everyone, and what happens? He dies.
Yeah. Seriously. It's like that's what we'd get with Open Arms, and
Yeah.
that's what he gets. But yeah, I do love Open Arms. I do listen to that one a lot. Also, I feel so bad for leaving the Ithaca saga off of this because I love Odysseus, that song. My favorite moments of just Odysseus in general are when he's just going full beast mode and he's just like absolutely slaughtering people, and I know that's probably indicative of something not good, but it's just like it goes so hard. It's going like full electric guitar because sometimes Odysseus's theme is played on a, I don't know what you would call it, but a different softer guitar. And but when he gets into it, it's like full electric guitar. It's intense. He's like killing all these people. Also in Odysseus, the two suitors that get those brief solos, the one who's like begging for him to like stop and like, hey, our leader's dead. It's all good, bro. That is incredible.
Yeah.
And then the one with Telemachus where he's attacking Telemachus, that solo is also great. And for what? They die immediately, but yeah, it just that needed to be said.
It's so weird for me with finales of musicals because I feel like I can't listen to them without having listened to the entire musical in a row right before because I feel like I haven't earned it, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like listening to the just the finale of a musical, it's like this is paying off every single thing throughout the entire. It kind of cheats, really. It's like rewatching the finale of a TV show, which I have done. You feel like you didn't earn it. Like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness,
Yeah, that
this is
makes
so
sense.
amazing. I didn't earn this.
Hmm.
I didn't watch all the setup right before. I did that with Avatar: The Last Airbender. I watched the whole thing. The finale was so great that the next day I watched the finale again and I was like, this is still just as good, but I
Yeah.
didn't watch the whole show again.
Yeah. Also, like, Would You Fall in Love with Me Again is also incredible. But like I'm a heartless troll and so I can't put songs on there that make me feel emotional, but it's like it gave me a heart attack when Penelope said, "Carry away the wedding bed." I was like, "No, not after this whole thing." I was crashing out there. And then she
Yeah.
was like, "Only my husband knew that." And I was like, "Yes, yes."
Outwitting the master of the battle of wits.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, but
That
ultimately
song
just
that song does the incredibly hard work of giving a character with a negative arc a happy ending.
yes, absolutely. You think that with everything like this would end tragically.
Yeah, my favorite example of a negative arc is American Agent from Falcon Winter Soldier, right?
Okay.
Off-brand Captain
Yes.
America, he goes from, the heights of America, fame, everything to just this shamed, as we learn in Thunderbolts, this shamed guy with nobody
Yeah.
who loves him.
US agent.
US Agent, my bad.
You're good.
But he doesn't really get a happy ending.
No,
In
he
the
does
show,
not.
in the original show, at least we'll look at that. His origin story, he doesn't have a happy ending. He turns out to be the villain. This song, "Would You Fall in Love with Me Again," it does that hard work of giving the
Hmm.
character who had incredibly negative arc a happy ending, which is just such a great feat that was achieved.
Yeah. That's why I really love that it scared me like that because like if he had had a more positive arc, I probably would have been she's just playing, they're going to get together. But no, I genuinely was like this is going to end tragically. Like he's done too much, she's going to reject him. And I love that it gave me that one moment of my heart just stopping because that's impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for coming on to do this episode.
Of course.
Probably have you back on some other point. This has been True View Radio. I'm Judah Eyler. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see you next time. Farewell, friends.